Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. Sorry I'm late. Usually I stream like an hour and a half earlier than this, but I didn't have an opportunity because I was dropping my wife off at the airport because she's going elsewhere for 3 days and then coming back here. Anyway, hang on. Let me just start recording real quick. Wait, make sure that I have my outputs correct. Let's see, output 2 and 3. Go to 24, 25. Cool. Okay, let me start recording. I have to clap again in a little while. Anyway, thank you so much for coming, guys, and I'm sorry I'm late once again. Let me just pop out my chats so that I can see Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. And we're going to play some Final Fantasy VII Remake while talking about Nutter Butters of epic proportions. And I just took a taxi back because there's no train that comes back like that. And the dude was so nice from the airport. I took him back from the airport. He was such a cool guy. But he didn't cash out. He didn't cash out at the end of the ride like he's supposed to. He didn't hit the ride over button. And that means he didn't get paid. And so I emailed Curb support and told them the medallion number and was hoping there's some way to get him the money, you know, because I feel bad. I don't want him to be like, I don't want a free ride out of the guy. He was so cool. Happy 3-month Amazon sub, Owen. Thank you so much. Welcome, Unicorg. Glad you made it. All right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about, shall we? Hang on. It's a shortened day today because obviously I was late. And I have to get out of here about 2 o'clock. So I only have a couple hours with you guys, but we'll make the most of it while we can. Give me just a second here. Hold on. I just need to move my windows around real quick because they're all placed in weird spots. Alrighty, awesome. Whoop. So last night on my main channel, we were talking about these people on Flashpoint. I guess for now we'll continue with Flashpoint.
The real...
Yeah, for now we'll continue with Flashpoint. Let me give an intro to this, though. Okay. Hey, welcome, KJ Dog Love. Thanks for coming. Am I streaming tomorrow? I haven't decided. It's probably going to be significantly fewer people, but I'm not celebrating Thanksgiving until later in the day. And my wife is gone, so it's just going to be like me and my kids. So, and I have to, yeah, I'm just not sure. I might. We'll see. Anyway, this is John Hagee. He's a famous televangelist. He went to a March for Israel protest or whatever recently. And it was a really odd thing for him to have shown up to because he's famously anti-Semitic. So why is this anti-Semitic televangelist showing up at pro-Israel events? Well, the answer is because televangelists, the far right in the United States, evangelicals, Christian extremists of all sorts, they aren't pro-Jewish person. They are anti-Semitic and also pro-Israel because they need Israel to exist as a country for their prophecies to come true. So anyways, this TV show on Kenneth Copeland's network, it's called Flashpoint. They've been talking about all of this stuff. So I wanted to listen to what these people had to say on Flashpoint.
Be clear.
Oh my God. So I wanted to listen to what these people have to say on Flashpoint about it and listen to some of these anti-Semitic pro-Israel pastors talk about this stuff. So let's give this a listen. And while we do, we're going to play some Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm just kind of messing around with it in the background, so it shouldn't bother you too much if you've never played it. All right, let's give this a listen, see what they have to say here. By the way, this is this is not part one. If you haven't seen the other, don't sweat it. This stands independently of the rest. I'll provide context if it's missing. All right, let's listen. You jump back to where we should be. Oh, yeah, and the lead singer of Skillet is in this, too. John Cooper, I think is his name. He came in with this leather jacket and everything. Yeah, there he is right there in the middle on the right next to Dinesh D'Souza. These people are absurd. Okay, let's listen.
Civilian American Israeli kidnapped from the music festival on October 7th. For 38 nights, none of us have slept the real sleep of the before.
Okay, that was a super weird way to phrase it, but all right, thank you. We haven't slept the real sleep of the before.
We read in the words of the prophet Jeremiah, restrain your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your work will be rewarded, declares the Lord. They will return from the land of the enemy.
The choice between good and evil has never been clearer. Do you
See, this whole good versus evil thing is about as disturbing as it gets for me. Why are people framing it like they are good and the enemy is evil? This is black and white thinking, and it is exactly what led people to do psychotic things in World War II. For example, I got a billion examples of this. The genocide of Rwanda is another example. There are a billion examples of absolutely psychotic situations coming about because of this mindset. What is wrong with these people? Why are they doing this? Why are they framing it like this? And where the hell am I supposed to go on this game? And what is happening? I am so lost. I'm confused. All right, let me try going back. Maybe I'm supposed to go back. I don't know.
You stand with a terror organization that kills women, children, and the elderly in cold blood? Or do you stand with a democracy that does everything in its power to protect civilian life on both sides?
Alexa, stop.
Now, I know we're...
Sorry. Did he say Israel protects civilian life on both sides? Are you can't be serious with this. Does he think that people believe this? Israel has terribly mistreated civilians. That's my primary problem. They mistreat civilians horrifically. In fact, they don't differentiate between civilians and combatants. They're the same to these people, and it's horrific and disgusting and wrong. That is my primary issue here.
Life on both sides.
Yeah. Since when did Israel give a shit about human life in Gaza? Literally never. Hang on. Okay, got it. Alexa, set a reminder to pick up Thanksgiving dinner at 2:00 p.m. today. Sorry, it's a busy day today, apparently. Hang on. Wait. For some reason, YouTube is not showing me the chat. I don't know what's going... Okay, there it is. Got it. Just checking through. Okay, cool. We are good. Switch my screens. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That's the first time you've seen Speaker Mike Johnson along in agreement with Chuck Schumer. Lance, it really was a rare opportunity for a unified front, what we saw on that day.
I'm actually surprised to find that the Democrats are, well, the Democratic leadership in Congress is so deeply in favor of Israel, no matter how much horrific stuff they do. I'm surprised to find out that they're like that, actually. I thought for sure that they would have some principle, but I guess not. I am in favor of the Jewish community and their safety and prospering. I am deeply, deeply opposed to what Israel is doing. It does not get more wrong than that.
It was a rare opportunity, but it also reflects a kind of an interesting question about the real influence that the Jewish community has in America. And that's part of what frustrates me. because you're seeing the Jewish donor class, for instance, that are more to the moderate side of the Democratic Party, up in arms over the fact that the Democrats have been so flat-footed in terms of trying to be clear about this message. And listen, this is a tough situation for them because they lose votes.
Dude, what the hell is he even talking about? And where am I supposed to be bringing this thing? I don't understand. Am I supposed to be dropping this right here? Wait, I'm lost. I don't know what's happening. Wait. Is it right here? Wait. Place container? Okay. Is that what I was supposed to do? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Clear about this message. And listen, this is a tough situation for them because they lose votes with the radicals and with their Arab community if they don't walk a certain line. But they have unity there. My challenge is the problem we have with all of the riots and such is going to be revealed as an immigration problem where we...
Wait, riots are going to be an immigration problem? Like, what the hell is this guy even saying? I don't understand. I'm just lost.
We really never had a philosophy for who we brought in the country, and an education problem.
We never had a philosophy for who we bring in the country. What?
Both of which the Democrats that are calling for unity right now help to exasperate.
The word is exacerbate, not exasperate. But the Democrats helped exacerbate what?
We really never had a philosophy for who we brought in the country.
No, we didn't. All are welcome. Did you even read the little plaque on the Statue of Liberty? Or no? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Sound familiar? Have you read that before? This is a joke, dude. This guy is a joke. We never had a coherent message for who we should bring in. All are welcome. Tired, poor, huddled masses, wretched refuse. We want everybody. This is just a joke, man. What is wrong with these people?
And an education problem, both of which the Democrats that are calling for unity right now help to exasperate.
Let me show you what was going on. Speaking of media, let me show you what happened. Look at this from John Ashbrook. 290,000 people marched in support of Israel yesterday, and the Washington Post buried it in the metro section.
Wait, 200. Wait, hang on. Listen again.
Let me show you what happened. Look at this from John Ashbrook. 290,000 people marched in support of Israel yesterday.
290,000? 300,000 people marched in Israel? I'm sorry, in favor of Israel? Wait. How many people attended March for Israel? Washington Post buried it? Look, I have the article right here. Tens of thousands of supporters of Israel rally in Washington, crying never again. Wait, I'm looking here. I'm not seeing 290,000. I'm not seeing 290,000 anywhere in this article at all. I'm not seeing 300,000. I'm not seeing anything. I'm doing the Control F thing, and it's not popping anything. It just says tens of thousands on Washington Post. These people lie for a living, by the way. You have to fact check every word out of their mouths. Seriously.
Happened. Look at this from John Ashbrook. 290,000 people marched in support of Israel yesterday, and the Washington Post buried it in the metro section. There's your front page of the...
Wait, in the metro section? I don't know what they're even talking about right now. I'm so lost. I'm not... Israeli forces enter key hospital. House passes stopgap funding. As strain builds, legislators almost come to blows. There's nothing about that in here. What are you talking about? I mean, is he just showing like the front page? And also, I'm not seeing anything about 200 or 300,000 people. Is this just a straight up lie? This sounds like just a blatant, flat out lie to me.
The Washington Post. You know, and this is, we continue to see the media ignore what is to happen. Continue. Strain builds, legislator come to blows. They're talking about that. The New York Times actually does cover a little bit of what happened with the pro-Israel rally. USA Today, let me show you that one.
Look, I don't see any reason to believe that there were 300,000 people in D.C. marching in favor of Israel. That is. Wait, what is the population of Washington, D.C.? Okay, the population of Washington, D.C. is 700,000. So you're telling me half the population of men, women, children, babies, elderly people over the age of 90 all came out to march for Israel? One half of those people? Come on. You've got to be joking. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, I see. Yeah, I worded that poorly. I don't think anyone here is supporting Hamas. No, nobody here supports Hamas. Hamas is absolutely terrible, actually.
There it is. Terrifying time to be Jewish for many.
That's true enough. I agree. It is a terrifying time to be Jewish for a lot of people. And it's terrifying to be Muslim, both. There is an absolute, there is pure psychosis running through the population right now. Am I about to get into a battle with these muggers? I think I am.
USA Today, let me show you that one. There it is. Terrifying time to be Jewish for many. This was actually, people were showing up. And even in the famed Wall Street Journal, there it is.
Wall Street Journal is kind of a right-leaning journal, so I don't know why he's saying it like that. Hang on, let me capture the audio. That was at 16:30. Let me write that down. There is a lot of dialogue in this game, like a lot, which I guess I'm fine with. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, but okay, here's the battle. Anyways, yeah, Wall Street Journal is right-leaning, so I don't know what they're looking for here.
A picture right there on the front page of what was going on. You know, here we are. You see Mike Johnson, Chuck Schumer, and Hakeem Jeffries all holding hands in unity. Look at this picture. Americans march for Israel, march to free hostages. That's an unusual sighting there, Dinesh, but yet we still have the same issue with the media not covering, picking and choosing what is news. It seems like they get to decide what they want us to see.
Dude, are you kidding me? Did he just say the media gets to pick and choose what they want us to see? Damn, I was really hoping she wasn't going to kill all those people because I wanted to grab some of them. Can I reload? I wanted to assess some of them. How far in? Did I just save it? 12:38:04. Let me save. Manual save. 12:38:04. So it should be 12:37, 12:36, somewhere in that vicinity. Yeah, okay. I can load that. All right, let me load that one. Anyways. These people are a joke, dude. Listen again.
Dinesh, but yet we still have the same issue with the media not covering, picking and choosing what is news. That seems.
To be fair, there is such a thing as bias, or I'm sorry, story selection bias is what it's called, I believe. And the idea is you just completely ignore certain things that are less than favorable to your narrative and zero in on things that are favorable to it. And you see this constantly with Flashpoint. Nearly everybody has it. Every commentary show has this. Like, I have this, you know? I have story selection bias. I primarily talk about things that matter to me, things that I care about, right? Evangelical, extremists, Donald Trump, whatever. And these people constantly talk about how great Trump is. So, yeah, man, like, I don't want to hear any of this nonsense about how story selection bias is a problem when these people are the worst perpetrators of it. Seriously. It's a joke.
Seems like they get to decide what they want us to see.
Yeah, I have two thoughts about this. The first is that there has been now for some years a major schism or divide on the right in the Republican Party. And I would say it's generally between the MAGA or Make America Great Again, the Trumpian populism on the one side, and a certain kind of conventional Republican kind of establishment philosophy on the other. The Democrats, by contrast, appear to be very united. Nancy Pelosi, for example, would rarely have the kind of squabbling, at least public squabbling.
That's true. That's true. I agree with that. Republicans are very split, and Democrats are at least more united than Republicans are, at the very least.
That we've seen on the Republican side. But now, with the emergence of this issue of Israel, Palestine, Hamas, you have a schism that runs right through the middle of the Democratic Party. And so when you see these leaders holding hands, it should not give you the false idea that there's now some kind of national unanimity on this, not at all. In fact, the central thread of progressive philosophy is the idea of oppression, cultural Marxism, anti-colonialism, and in that view, Israel...
Wait, did he say that the common thread of progressivism is the idea of oppression? You should be oppressing people? Is that what this dude just said? Just step back. Listen again.
These leaders holding hands, it should not give you the false idea that there's now some kind of national unanimity on this, not at all. In fact, the central thread of progressive philosophy is the idea of oppression, cultural Marxism, anti-colonialism.
Yeah, he said oppression is a central thread of progressivism. You should be oppressing people, apparently, in this dude's mind. This is insane. What is in this dude's head? What is going on here?
And in that view, Israel is the oppressor. You have all kinds of people these days, and you see it on social media, like praising the philosophy of Osama bin Laden.
No. I talked about this recently. There was this thing. All right, so on TikTok, I'm not going to get into this too much because I talked about this in the last episode. If you're curious, you can watch the last one. But there was a hashtag. I think it on TikTok. It was called hashtag Letter to America or something to that effect, and it had 274 videos. 274. On Tuesday and Wednesday, right? That's like nothing. And it had a total of 1.8 million views combined between all of those videos. I have videos that have like 1.3 million, I think, views. So 1.8 million, yeah, that's a lot, but that's not viral at all. 274 videos and 1.8 million views is not viral. Well, of course, the right comes along, Fox News and the New York Post and these guys and so on and so forth. Like, everybody on the right started claiming that it was a viral TikTok trend to praise Osama bin Laden's letter. The letter he wrote after the letter he wrote after he ran the planes into the World Trade Centers, right? 274 videos, 1.8 million views combined, and the next day, it went up to 30 million views combined. 30 million. From 2 million to 30 million after the right shouted it out. Earlier in this episode, people claimed that Osama bin Laden, people claimed that, John Cooper, actually, the singer of Skillet, claimed that what was it? Oh, my God, I'm trying to remember. 51% of people on the left support Hamas. It's only 1%. 1%. This is just a complete joke, honestly. These people aren't even trying to be convincing anymore with this garbage.
See it on social media, like praising the philosophy of Osama bin Laden.
That's not happening.
Not necessarily.
You know what is happening, though? You know what? Let's just go down this rabbit hole for a second. Again, I talked about the letter from Osama bin Laden. I talked about it on my channel. We read the entire letter from Osama bin Laden, the whole thing, beginning to end. It was long, dude. Oh, my God, is that a long letter. Not as short as it's made out to be. Let me just read you a couple of lines from that letter, okay? Hold on. Let me pull the letter up. It's, where is that damn letter? I saved it here. Wait, no. Yeah, here it is. Got it. Okay. All right. This was one of his primary complaints regarding America and why America has to go down, why it has to be destroyed. We call you to be a people of manners, principles, honor, and purity, to reject the immoral acts of fornication, homosexuality, intoxicants like alcohol you're not supposed to drink, gambling, and trading with interest or usury. Here's another one. Here's another line. You are a nation that permits acts of immorality, and you consider them to be pillars of personal freedom. You have continued to sink down this abyss from level to level until incest has spread amongst you. Incest. In the face of which neither your sense of honor nor your laws object. Osama bin Laden thinks that it is both legal and, in our minds, moral to commit incest. It's the right thing to do, according to him, apparently. Now that you've heard some of the objections here from Osama bin Laden, some of his reasons for hating America, for running the planes into the World Trade Center buildings, right? Listen to this televangelist, Jerry Falwell, give his explanation for why he believes Osama bin Laden ran those planes into the building 2 days after 9/11. Okay? He's talking to Pat Robertson. Try to find where it starts.
And with biological warfare available to these monsters, the Husseins, the bin Ladens, the Arafats, what we saw on Tuesday, as terrible as it is, could be minuscule if in fact God continues to lift the curtain and allow the enemies of America to give us probably what we deserve.
You catch that? Jerry Falwell apparently also feels that the United States deserves to be attacked or whatever on 9/11. Apparently agrees with what Osama bin Laden did. Now listen to why he agrees with it. Listen to what he thinks America did to deserve it.
Well, Jerry, that's my feeling. I think we've just seen the antechamber to terror. We haven't even begun to see what they can do to the major population.
The ACLU's got to take a lot of blame for this.
The American Civil Liberties Union, the people that fight for civil liberties, they take the blame for this stuff? Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
And I know I'll hear from them for this, but throwing God, or successfully with the help of the federal court system, throwing God out of the public square, out of the schools, the abortion.
Okay, now hang on. Throwing God out of the public squares and out of the schools? Hold on. Let me find it. Here. You are the nation who, rather than ruling by Sharia, which is God's law, of Allah in its constitution and laws, chose to invent your own laws as you will and desire. You catch this? We're a secular country, and that really pisses off Osama bin Laden. That was Osama bin Laden's reason for running the planes into the buildings. Now listen one more time to Jerry Falwell.
Successfully with the help of the...
Sorry, hang on.
Throwing God, or successfully with the help of the federal court system.
Is this sounding familiar to anybody else?
Throwing God out of the public square, out of the schools. The abortionists have got to bear some burden for this, because God will not be mocked, and when we destroy 40 million little innocent babies.
Okay, that's not happening, first of all. And second, to my knowledge, Islam does not have a problem with abortion. I believe that, you know, in cases of like life of the mother and stuff, it's perfectly justified and everyone's fine with it. America seems to be like the only place where you find extremists that get all pissed off about abortion. But okay, go on.
We make God mad. I really believe that the pagans and the abortionists and the feminists and the gays and
Feminists and the gays, is any of this sounding familiar? We call you to be a people of manners, principles, honor, and purity, to reject the immoral acts of fornication, homosexuality, intoxicants, gambling, and trading with interest. Hang on. Here's one. The American people are the ones who employ both their men and their women in the American forces, which attack us. You're a nation that exploits women like consumer products or advertising tools, calling upon customers to purchase them. You use women to serve passengers, visitors, and strangers to increase your profit margins, i.e., women are allowed to, you know, work as conductors on a train or to work as baristas or whatever. And that's just too much for Osama bin Laden. Does this sound familiar?
We make God mad. I really believe that the pagans and the abortionists and the feminists and the gays and the lesbians who are actively trying to make that an alternative lifestyle, the ACLU, People for the American Way, all of them who tried to secularize America, I point the finger in their face and say, you helped this happen.
I mean, this is just a joke, right? I mean, is anybody else seeing like how deeply wrong this is? How this sounds exactly like Osama bin Laden and what he had to say? Jesus Christ, dude. My point is that the people that we're listening to right now on Flashpoint, Dinesh D'Souza, and all of these other people, dude, what the hell am I doing in this stupid game? This is driving me nuts, okay? I'm getting really frustrated with how tedious and annoying this game is at some points. What do you think of this version of FF7 in regards to telling the story? I really like it, actually. The storytelling is on point, honestly. I'm a fan. But I understand some people thought it was tacky and stupid. So, I don't know. It's hard to know for sure how others feel. Anyway. The point is that these people are completely full of shit and have no idea what's going on. And they are the Osama bin Ladens of the Christian world. There really is no difference, effectively. They are so close to Osama bin Laden ideologically, they might as well be Osama bin Laden. No joke. It's insane.
9/11, but applying that philosophy.
Step back. Listen again.
Anti-colonialism, and in that view,
he's describing progressivism, remember.
Cultural Marxism, anti-colonialism, and in that view, Israel is the oppressor. You have all kinds of people these days, and you see it on social media, like praising the philosophy of Osama bin Laden.
Who's really praising the philosophy of Osama bin Laden here? Seriously. It's a joke to me that this dude is not seeing the irony here. It's insane. Are they ever going to realize that they are the problem? Or no? Are they just going to continue blaming the left for everything?
Not necessarily for 9/11, but applying that philosophy now to the Hamas attacks of October 7th. So I think we now have a very interesting situation where both parties have to deal with an internal schism, and this is a new one for...
No, the Democratic Party is not going to have to deal with an internal schism. That's not going to happen. I mean, there are people who are really unhappy with how Joe Biden is handling the Israel situation. And, you know, it's going to end badly for Biden if he doesn't pull this together. But I still think that he's going to win the election. And, of course, he's going to be the nominee. and everything still. So, yeah.
For the Democrats to have to deal with. Now, the media...
Like, they're just trying to convince themselves that Biden is just as hated as Trump, and it's simply not true.
Is a whole different matter.
Right.
The media is populated with young leftists through and through. And so when the Washington Post decided, for example, to banish the story to the back page, it's probably because of the influence of the young writers all coming fresh out of the universities, informed by this anti-colonial philosophy.
Not true. Are you kidding me? Informed by this anti-colonial philosophy? Are you saying colonialism is a good thing? You want more colonialism? What is happening right now? And what the hell am I doing? How is it that, like, what am I supposed to do with this arm? Again, this frustrates the shit out of me. Seriously, why? I've been sitting at this spot with this game for like 20 minutes trying to get these stupid arms to do whatever the hell I'm supposed to do with them. And it's driving me nuts. It's a puzzle that's absolutely piss poor. It's a bad puzzle. And I'm assuming I can only place the boxes where the yellow is. Okay? So now let me try to... Nope. Okay. All right. Let me just try to move this over here. And let's move the... Okay, offer ride. Jesus Christ, dude. This is so annoying. Anyway.
Israel is seen as the bad guy, even though Israel was not the attacker, but the one that was attacked.
So
they were attacked, and now they are the attackers. It can be both simultaneously. Is it just me? What the hell is happening?
True, but you know what? Since you touched on this, we'll go to our next topic. Just when you thought 9/11. We could go no further. It comes back in a way you never thought possible. Let me play you this clip from Glenn Beck, Bin Laden and a letter to America. Watch.
There is
right. So they're talking about what I was just saying with the letter. The irony is just thicker than, as my mom would say, this irony is thicker than molasses in January. They have no idea, do they?
a letter that has just been released. It's an old letter.
It hasn't just been released. It's existed since 2002. It was published November 24th, 2002. Oh, my God, dude. I really want that piece of materia. But, all right. You know what? I'm looking this up. I am so sick of this. FF7 remake. Sector 7 arms. Robot arms. No, I'll just do robot arm puzzle. This puzzle is so frustrating you don't even know. All right, let me just look this up. Hold on. This would complete it for me, but I would like to get whatever that materia is. And is this article even going to tell me? What is this materia? What is the blue materia? Why isn't it telling me? Damn it. Collapsed expressway. Yeah, why are there even robotic arms in here for that matter? Blue materia, magnify materia. It's to increase the range of spells and allow them to hit multiple targets. Oh man, I want that. All right. I guess I'm going to continue playing then. Damn it.
That was released again now through TikTok. And I want
the letter was released through TikTok? What? No, it was published on The Guardian. Like, this guy doesn't even get his basic facts right.
You to listen. This is a letter from Osama bin Laden, and
does this guy have COVID? What's wrong with his voice?
People responding. Listen.
This morning I read Letter to America, which is Osama bin Laden's letter to America explaining why he attacked Americans. And I am ashamed to say that I not only have never read this letter, but I didn't even know this letter existed. It's wild, and everyone should read it. If you haven't read it yet, read it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything bad yet. She's just saying, you should read the letter, right? I don't understand. What's wrong with this? I'm not picking up what they're putting down.
However, be forewarned that this has left me very disillusioned, and I feel the same exact way I felt when I was deconstructing Christianity. I feel...
And that's why they included it right there. Boom. Ever wonder why they included this one? Because they realize she's an atheist, and that's one more reason to hate her. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've seen this same exact video on like 16 different analyses of this, Osama bin Laden letter trend or whatever. They always include the same ones because there were only a few, and they really want to make this into something that it's not. They really want to scare people, make them think that this viral thing is where leftists are now praising Osama bin Laden, blah, blah, blah. To be fair, in the beginning of the letter, Osama bin Laden explained that he was unhappy about the fact that the United States supported Palestine nonstop, no matter what. I'm sorry, they supported Israel nonstop, no matter what. And Israel was attacking Palestine. That's totally 100% fair. That is a fair criticism. But everything else in the letter was psychotic.
Shocking.
A little bit just confused, like I have entered into another timeline. What is this? And yeah, so go read it.
So I just read.
It's 4 people. It's the same 4 videos. That's one of them. This is another. And there are 2 more. They may show the other 2 that they always show. It's weird that they always show the exact same ones. It's just because it really wasn't a viral trend until they started talking about it. And even then, it wasn't a viral trend. It was a viral hate trend to talk shit about people who thought the letter was fascinating. I thought it was fascinating.
A letter to America. And I will never look at life the same. I will never look at this country the same. I will never. Please read it. And if you have read it, let me know if you are also going through an existential crisis in this very moment.
Well, I mean, people are discovering that America was to blame for a lot of absolutely awful stuff. Not that it justified an attack like Osama bin Laden did. And obviously, we've seen 1,000 reasons why Osama bin Laden was psychotic and wrong about nearly everything. But still, I mean, people thought that they hated us for our freedoms. That's what George Bush told us. He said to the American people, they hate us for our freedoms. They hate us because we can walk around without beekeeper outfits on, the burqas. They hate us because we can, drink alcohol or do whatever we want. In fairness, that's partly true, but he kind of left out the whole ravaging the societies and economies of Middle Eastern countries. He left that part out conveniently. These arms were insufferable. I had no idea what was going on. I mean, looking at the puzzle now, it was actually pretty straightforward and obvious, but oh my God, dude. This puzzle was absolutely awful. It drove me insane. Anyway.
And actually, before you even read the letter, I did want to mention, in reading the letter, I could only think of this tweet that I saw the other day. Under settler colonialism, any kind of resistance is branded as terrorist because the only acceptable violence is violence by the occupier.
The way this letter is going viral right now is...
Yeah, this is another. I didn't see the other dude, the one we saw just a second ago, but this is the third person that they always show when talking about this subject. Constant.
Giving me the greatest sense of relief. If you're Muslim and you've lived in the U.S. since 9/11, you know more truth than the typical citizen. Now it's all...
Okay, this is a funny game. I see. I don't know if you saw this. He went to give her a high five, and she put her hands down, and that's because previously with the last arms, she went to high five him, and he refused. That's kind of funny. I like that. Anyway, sorry. You know what? Let me go grab my coffee real quick. Give me just 1 second, okay? I'll be right back. Take me like 3 seconds. Okay, sorry. Got it. Oh, my God. This game is really good, but there are some parts that drive me nuts. All right, let's continue.
This letter is going viral
Our
right now
government-
is giving me the greatest sense of relief. If you're Muslim and you've lived in the U.S. since 9/11, you know more truth than the typical citizen. Now it's all
my
coming to
God,
light
this is
because of Palestine.
Dude, who is even talking right now? Who was interrupting this letter or this TikTok with their annoying protests or whatever?
You know more truth than the typical citizen. Now it's all
my
coming to
God,
light
this is-
because of Palestine.
Like, who is that?
Okay, so number one, if you're getting your, here's a clue. If you're getting your news from TikTok, you may not be getting the real news. Yet,
That's true. If you're getting your news from this, you're not getting the real news either.
this is what we're seeing, John. People talking about this letter. And this letter was, you know, where he was talking about bin Laden was saying, because Americans have, he was referring back to the Palestinians and how it was their land and how they picked and choose parts of the letter. This is what's going on, and we're going to make all Americans pay because you pay taxes, and the taxes you pay enforce this on it. So therefore, it's
That's true. He's accurate so far.
all your fault. John.
That's accurate, yes. He was correct on all of that stuff, actually, interestingly enough. I don't want to go in search of it, but like I said, I read the whole letter. If you want to see the whole thing, it's on my Fireside channel. It's not on there yet for people watching the live stream. It'll actually be uploaded next week, but if you want to listen to it, it'll be on my podcast on, you know, iTunes and Castbox and everything, Google Play on Monday. That'll be the soonest it releases. And 1 week from today will probably be on my YouTube channel, the Fireside channel. Anyways, yeah, he was correct about all that. He's just ignoring all the stuff that he agreed with, fascinatingly, about homosexuality and all the other stuff that we read a minute ago.
TikTok, come on, man.
Man, Gene, why did you make me watch that? I feel dumber just watching the thing. I don't know why you do.
Oh, that's so funny. This guy is so clever. For the record, commentary shows should not be where you get your news. You should be getting your news from Reuters and AP News and other extremely reliable, trustworthy news sources. That's where I get all of my news. Trustworthy news sources. Watching my show, my show is a commentary show. You shouldn't be getting your news from me. Certainly not exclusively. But to be fair, I do get my news from reliable sources. So I always try to make 100% sure everything that I say is completely accurate. I don't always get it exactly right, but I try my hardest. These people, as a commentary show, the Flashpoint crew, they intentionally set out to deceive. They lie for a living.
Do that to me. This goes back to what I said a second ago.
Welcome, Cookie Queen. Thanks for coming.
Dumber, just watch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, one more time. Can't help but fear for the safety of that Santa behind you after watching your video the other day. Yeah, that you're probably your fears are not misplaced. Kashmir likes pulling that thing down, and he actually put the Santa in front of Kylie's door the other day, just in the middle of the night. Grabbed the Santa, dropped him on the floor in front of her door. I don't know why. Also, real Christmas trees are out, or they will be soon. I can see the stands up outside, so I'm going to grab one as soon as it's available.
Man, Gene, why did you make me watch that? I feel dumber just watching the thing. I don't know why you do that to me.
Oh, that's so funny. I do love the jacket, to be fair, though. That jacket is on point.
This goes back to what I said a second ago. In post-colonial theory and these Marxist ideologies, they redefine morality. Anything, if you are viewed as the oppressed in their worldview, anything you do against the oppressors is now considered moral.
No, okay, I don't know who they is. Who's he talking about when he says they? Does he mean Gen Z? Does he talk about the left? Progressives? Who? Who's he talking about here? That is what he's referring to is an ends justify the means mentality, and it's wrong no matter who does it. Murder is wrong. You know, discriminating against a group of people, a group of civilians or whatever, is wrong. A demographic of people. It's straight up bad. And there's no excuse. There's no justifying that away. There's no end that could justify the means of discriminating people, discriminating against people, hating people, you know, taking extremist action, running planes into buildings, or any of that stuff. Unfortunately, that's what I've built my channel off of for the past 8 years, talking about ends justify the means mindsets. Wait. You may not even realize that that's what it's been about, but if you go back and look at like everything that I've released, it's about people having this ends justify the means mentality. Now this guy, oh wow, that's a Chocobo. That's really interesting. I've never seen a Chocobo in this form before. Anyway, if you listen, you'll find that this guy and all of these other people are the kings of ends justify the means mentalities. That's what a cult is.
Anything you do against the oppressors is now considered moral. There are no static ideas of morality, and that's one of the things I wrote in my new book. I say this, it changes the way that flourishing is defined. So let me give you another example. If the hard left is correct, and if abortion is not actually murder, but abortion is a form...
Okay, I'm sorry. 1 second. You see in the game, Tifa is riding a Chocobo carriage or whatever to somewhere else. This character, Tifa, if you don't know the story, she's basically on her way to be sold off as the wife or concubine of this guy named Don Corneo. And in this next part, in the original game, I don't know about this one. I haven't made it this far before. In the original, you have to dress up as a woman and put makeup on, put on a wig, and collect all these things that make you look more feminine, including cologne and everything, and present yourself to this guy trying to be one of his concubines. And the goal is that he'll pick you over Eris here, who you see on the right, or Tifa, who was just in the carriage. So I guess we'll see. I suppose we will see how that goes once we get there. I've heard this is the best part of the game, of the remake. We're 15 hours into this game so far. I actually beat the original in the amount of time that it's taken me to get this far in this game. That's kind of interesting. It's a beautiful game. Really, really nice game. I have a feeling I'm going to be wandering around aimlessly again pretty soon, though. Anyway, okay, let's step back. Listen again.
Is now considered moral. There are no static ideas of morality, and that's one of the things I wrote in my new book. I say,
oh, he's plugging his new book. Okay, of course.
It changes the way that flourishing is defined. So let me give you another example. If the hard left is correct, and if abortion is not actually murder, but abortion is a form of justice.
I'm sorry? Abortion is a form of justice? Hold on, I gotta write this one down. Nobody said abortion was a form of justice. Hold on. Wait a second. John Cooper. Abortion is a form of justice. This is Flashpoint with Skillet Singer. What day is this from? This is November 16th. November 16th, 23rd. Okay, cool. Got it.
Well, then all this.
Okay. Girl, we're looking for. Oh, this is going to affect the outcome of the game, what I choose here, isn't it? I don't really care. I'm just gonna. Well. Let me see how it's going to affect the outcome of the game. Hold on. I can probably get different materia depending on item master materia, Fat Jacobo materia. Wow, apparently I missed a whole bunch of materia. No, maybe I didn't yet. No, apparently, wait, did I? Maybe I haven't missed it yet. Yeah, this is a whole section I'm going to have to study closely too. So I'll play it after. Or yeah, I'll just kind of wander around for now. Anyways, abortion is not a form of justice. It's a form of societal safety. It's a protection to make sure that we all survive and have the best lives, and we don't end up with people who don't want us, for example. Terminate the pregnancy before it's even, a human being. When it's a clump of cells. When it's a blastocyst, 150 cells. That's not abortion. And by the way, these people believe it is. Plan B, Plan B, that the medicine you can buy at a pharmacy to prevent pregnancy is like emergency contraception or whatever. They believe that's abortion, and it's wrong. For the record, Plan B works by, you have to take Plan B within 72 hours because that's roughly how long it takes for a fertilized egg to implant, to connect to the uterus, the uterine wall or whatever. If you take Plan B is simply just a very high dose of contraception. A very high dose of regular birth control medicine. If you take it, it basically induces a period which prevents the fertilized egg from connecting to the uterine wall, thus preventing pregnancy. And it's for things like, your condom broke or you were attacked or some other thing like that. So anyways, that's what Plan B is, and it's nothing more than just inducing a pregnancy when there is a fertilized egg that's 150 cells. Microscopic practically, almost. And these people seem to believe even that is abortion. It's not a form of justice, it's societal protection, plain and simple. It's psychotic to me that these people seem to absolutely refuse to see things the way that they actually are. They insist on looking at things in like this psychotic ass backwards way.
Abortion is not actually murder, but abortion is a form of justice.
Abortion is not murder. It is simply getting rid of cells, nothing more. It's just cells. At a certain point, that's not the case. At a certain point, it's more than just cells. In my opinion, that's between 15 and 20 weeks. In the opinion of the Supreme Court for the past 50 years, it was 20 weeks, so I'll go with that one. Viability, when it can survive outside the mother. I can agree with that. But with these people, there's no nuance. That's really the issue here.
Well, then all of a sudden, making abortion free and all the way through, to the very end of pregnancy is a way to help women flourish as opposed to...
Wait. See what he's doing here? What we've been talking about. I just said that I don't think that abortions should happen all the way up to the end of pregnancy. I said I think it should be viability, where the Supreme Court placed it in under Roe v. Wade and Casey. Okay, I remember how to do this in the original game, but I'm not sure how to do it in this one, so I'm just going to attempt the original. I'm going to attempt to go with the route that I did on the original. Anyways, this guy twists that, being in favor of abortion up to 20 weeks and beyond that is serious need, like life of the mother stuff. He twists that into Democrats are in favor of it all the way up to like the day of the birth, like 39 weeks and 6 days into the pregnancy, you get an abortion. Anyways, They want to push it that much further. They want to make it that much more ridiculous. Apparently my wife ran into somebody that she went to high school with who is an antitrust lawyer in Manhattan. She's preparing to be a civil rights lawyer in Manhattan, so that's kind of interesting. Is this the Honeybee Inn? Is this where I'm supposed to go? No. This is... Okay, Corneo's Mansion. This is upside down. This map is upside down. So Honeybee Inn should be over here. I'm headed for the Honeybee Inn. What's this? Vagabond Johnny? Follow him? Okay. I guess I'm following Vagabond Johnny then.
To the very end of pregnancy is a way to help women flourish, as opposed to what the Bible teaches, which is that
Well, the Bible teaches abortion is a good thing and you should be getting abortions. It's a mandate. And the reason it was a mandate and not just a suggestion in the Bible is because making sure that the paternal line was maintained was very important. They didn't have DNA tests back then. The only way you could be sure was if there was absolutely no doubt whatsoever. So if there was doubt, you get an abortion. You send your wife to the priest who whips up a concoction and gives it to her. She drinks it, and the baby is aborted if she cheated. I don't even know what's happening on screen. Anyway. I get he's going to completely contradict that, right?
a way to help women flourish, as opposed to what the Bible teaches, which is that every life is created in the image of God.
Yeah, when the life is actually a human being, it's created in the image of God. When it's a set of cells, look, I'm killing more cells right now by scratching my nose like this than I would be if I got an abortion, or, you know, if somebody else got an abortion. Seriously, more cells. At a certain point, more cells are dying. And this guy believes that just doing that is killing a human being. By the way, I can use these cells to reproduce, too. I can use those cells to clone. So why is it that he has a problem with me getting an abortion, for example, but not doing this? Did somebody just pull this shit? What the hell is this? Volume Master? Some extension just imposed itself upon me. That pisses me off more than anybody can possibly imagine. Anyways. All right, let's keep listening. That makes me want to remove Volume Master.
This is the exact same thing. If you are going against the people that are oppressing, and we have to just define this, who are the biggest oppressors of all?
Here we go. This is the Honeybee Inn. This is what I was looking for.
It's Western civilization, America, Christianity, Judeo-Christian ethics, and they all have to go. I agree with Dinesh. It's not just that it's destroyed. They want to remake something, but they want to remake something built on this idea of equity. It's a utopian equity.
Wow, how wrong is that equity? Imagine building something on equity. Just disgusting, right?
Dream. But as we all know, there's no such thing as utopia. It is a lie. Every utopia ends in tyranny and dystopia.
Yeah, Lance, I'll give you a chance to...
Wow, you can't have a utopia, so just don't even bother trying, is what he said just now. Anybody else catch that? Don't try to make things better, because you'll make things worse. So just keep things bad, I guess. Jesus, dude.
Comment there. You mentioned before the show, we were talking a little bit about how they left significant parts out of that letter. Your comment?
I think they're talking about the Osama bin Laden letter still, right? That kids left parts out of the letter. I mean, they probably, honestly, like I said, 274 videos on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then by Thursday, there were like millions, thousands, at the very tens of thousands maybe. It went from 2 million views to 30 million views. So naturally, I would say they probably didn't read almost any of the letter. They read the first 2 paragraphs maybe, which talked about Palestine and showed, that Israel's been doing this exact thing abusing and mistreating people like this for who knows how long, 70, 80 years. And they didn't make it beyond that. They didn't get down to the part that was actually really horrific about hating gay people, women being allowed to have jobs and all, not basing your laws off of Sharia law and so on and so forth. It's insane. Oh, not to mention the part that Osama bin Laden mentioned about how we are calling you to, what do we want from you, he said. What do we want from Americans? First thing that we're calling you to is Islam, the religion of unification of God, of freedom from associating partners, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, they just didn't make it that far in. The couple hundred people that agreed with it to any degree. They didn't make it that far in. Now, what is this guy saying here? If you have any questions, just ask, okay? I have a question. You looking for anything particular today? All right, let me just maybe... The shop owner is supposed to be in the bar next door, not here. I'm looking for something to interact with. I'm not seeing anything, so let me just try going to the bar next door. There should be a bar next door, right? Isn't there? Wait, is there... What? Oh, hey, check it out. It's Chadley. How did he get to Wall Market? Okay.
Sure. I mean, I could read parts.
Let me just step back a little bit here.
Lance, I'll give you a chance to comment there. You mentioned before the show we were talking a little bit about how they left significant parts out of that letter. Your comment?
Oh, sure. I mean, I could read parts of Mein Kampf and turn it into a Christmas greeting. So here's what's really an awakening for me. I never realized when I started presenting and teaching on 7 Mountains of Culture 20 years ago.
Oh, my God. 7 Mountains of Culture. Holy shit. I'm going to have to talk about this, aren't I? I'm going to have to talk about... Oh, God. Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. We're going to go down the whole story. Hold on. 1 second. Let me just pull this up. I need to do an updated version of this anyways. In 1902, there's this document that appeared. It was called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, okay? And it was originally 27 or I think 27 different protocols. It was just like they were each published in newspapers in Tsarist Russia before World War I, right? And it was just like, they were like this long. And the claim was that these protocols were found on a dead Jewish soldier, and they were originally from the elders of the Jewish community, and they were the Jewish plan for world domination. Now, that's obviously completely made up. It was not found on a dead Jewish soldier. It was fabricated almost certainly by the Okhrana, which was the predecessor to the KGB. In 1905, it was published in, all of them were published in a book called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of, The Protocols of the Meetings of the Learned Elders of Zion. That was the name of the book originally. So between 1902 and 1905, they were published in newspapers, and then they were compiled into a book. Now, I have a copy of that book, as a matter of fact. I just call it Protocols. Hold on. Let me find it. Yeah, here it is. You can find this book on the FBI website because throughout the generations, this book has been reproduced over and over and over again. Okay, like Hitler mentioned it in his book Mein Kampf. Henry Ford, the guy that invented vehicles, was also he also made copies of this and mailed them out. He used a printing press to mass produce these. And in the 1970s, there was another person that was printing these out and mailing them to people around the United States. And that's when this copy was mailed in to the FBI and said, hey, somebody is printing these out and sending them out to people if you wanted to look into this. Of course, it's not illegal to own one or print it out or whatever. It's just anti-Jewish propaganda. So what is it exactly? It's anti-Jewish propaganda that dates back thousands of years. Every accusation you'll find against the Jewish community is in this. And their plan for world domination. I'll tell you exactly what it is in a minute. But it has really fascinating lines in it. Like, for example, it's very obviously not written by Jewish people. Let me just show you what I mean. Hold on. Wait, what was I'm trying to remember what I was searching for. And let me blow it up so you guys can see it better. Okay, yeah, here we go. How do I make this go away? Can I make this go away? Wait. Yeah, there we go. All right. This is Protocol 2. Let me just give this a read, see if any of this sounds familiar to you, okay? We must see to that we must see to that wars be brought on economic grounds, putting the nations at the mercy of our international agenter. Let me see if I can blow this up. It's really hard to see. Protocol 2. There we are. Okay. We must see to that wars be brought on economic grounds, putting the nations at the mercy of our international agenter, when our international rights of gold will wipe out all national rights. Our employees chosen from the Goyim cattle, Goyim being a derogatory term for non-Jews, kind of like Gentile, except it's like a slur. That's how it's phrased, basically, in this document. Our employees chosen from the Goyim cattle must be of a type that submit to blind and servile obedience to our specialists and advisors who've been trained from childhood to rule the affairs of the world. These are not empty words. Think of the successes we arranged for Darwinism, Marxism, Nietzscheism, etc. To us, the Jews, really, to us, the Jews. Because we didn't know it was Jews before, so they wanted to make sure that we knew that this is Jews that wrote this. So they put that in there. To us, Jews, this is a joke. Seriously, who actually bought this? Who really believed any of this nonsense? Anyway, to us, Jews, it is plain what a destructively disintegrating force these directives have had upon the minds of the Goyim cattle. That being Darwinism and Marxism and Nietzscheism. Sounding familiar, right? All this stuff about Marxism. Before I continue, let me just explain what we're reading here with the to us, comma, Jews, comma. This is called exposition. If you've never heard of exposition, I'll have this cute redhead explain it for me.
My favorite.
Okay. Here's this cute redhead explaining exposition. Check this out.
My favorite part of a film is exposition, which is when one character tells another character something that both of them already know. Gentlemen, you already know that the Raven has struck again. Now, I don't need to remind you that we are cops.
The Raven's a myth. Michael, how long have we known each other? 10 years?
Joey, you're my brother. Longer than 10 years.
Sorry, do I have to call Mom to establish that you and I are siblings?
Don't call Mom.
I'm calling Mom. Hold on.
Hello, Mom?
Mikey, it's me, your elderly and/or Jewish mother.
Yeah,
just calling to say that you're still single and your career's going nowhere.
Mom, listen to me, will you? If I don't catch the Raven, they're going to close the precinct.
Close the precinct? But it's Christmas.
You think I don't know that? Ghost of a child who died on my first case.
And that's how exposition works. But of course, you already knew that. There's a wall there.
This guy is fantastic. By the way, that's the title of the video. Cute Redhead Explains How Movies Work. And it's on the Alistair Beckett King YouTube channel, I think. Anyways, even at the end, this subtle joke here. There's a wall there. Oh, sorry, let me step back. Listen again.
Of course,
You already knew that. There's a wall there.
Even that was just an absolutely on-point joke. In film, there's something called breaking the fourth wall, where the fourth wall is the viewer that's watching. You're breaking the wall there because you're talking to the viewer. When somebody in film talks to the viewer, you're breaking the fourth wall. And he walks right into this wall and says, oh, there's a wall here, after breaking the fourth wall. Everything about this video is on point. Anyway, the point is, back to the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Think of the successes we've arranged for Darwinism, Marxism, Nietzscheism, etc. To us, Jews, comma, it is plain what a destructively blah, blah, blah. Really? The exposition is painfully obvious in this. Anyways, just about every conspiracy theory you can think of has come out of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. And again, there are somewhere in the range of 27, I think, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. They're all out of order. Yeah, I think there are 27 of them. And it's a whole book. Anyways, the belief that Jews drink blood, or adrenochrome, the idea that evil people are coming to take kids and you know, suck their blood out of their arms like they're sticking a straw in a Capri Sun, that came from the elders of the protocols. That came from the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. That was originally an anti-Jewish conspiracy theory called blood libel. QAnon's beliefs, pretty much all of them, came out of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. QAnon, whether they realize it or not, is a rebranded Nazi death cult. Seriously. They may not even know. The cancel culture came out of this. Fear of Marxism and communism and Darwinism, all of it came out of this. Fascinatingly, in 1923, a reporter discovered that this set of protocols, this book, basically, 80% of it was plagiarized from a French satire book written in 1854. 80% came out of this French satire book that wasn't even about Jews. There's, hang on. There were a few things more that I wanted to mention. Hang on. Let me just listen to my previous breakdown to make sure that I hit all of them. And that I'm listing the things that came out of it. Hold on. Come up with came from this. Wait. Oh. Are they even aware of this document? I have no idea. But it's copied word for word in some situations, and it's uncanny. Oh, here's another one. The idea that Jews eat babies, or that the elites drink adrenochrome. Yep, I hit that one. From children. That's straight from Protocols of the Elders of Zion. QAnon is nothing more than a rebranded Nazi death cult. Every conspiracy theory you can come up with came from this document. The conspiracy theory that Jews eat babies, or that they drink the blood of children, that's from Protocols. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. The idea that they control the big banks and the media and all of the other stuff, Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's from this document right here. The conspiracy theory that they try to cancel people that they don't like, cancel culture, Protocols of the Elders of Zion. It's all from this. The idea that Marxism and Darwinism are evil, and that they're trying to use it to destroy society, Protocols for the Elders of Zion. It's all from this. Every conspiracy theory in the past 100 years that you can think of. The Great Replacement, where they're trying to bring in other groups of immigrants to destroy our culture and to outweigh votes and things like that. Protocols of the Elders of Zion. The conspiracy theory that Jewish people are trying to enslave the world, or whatever other thing, it's all from this book. Dead serious. This is where pretty much all anti-Semitism stems from, or, well, I guess that's not okay, that'll work. I just wanted to get a short list of things just in case I forgot some of them. The idea that Jews control the big banks and the media and everything, something that was actually echoed in Osama bin Laden's letter to America, that's from Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Cancel culture, blood libel about people eating babies or drinking children's blood or whatever, that's from Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Marxism, Darwinism, communism being evil and being used to destroy society, Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Great Replacement Conspiracy, where people are trying to bring in immigrants from other countries to outweigh votes. You know, like Donald Trump has claimed in the past, or Tucker Carlson, the Democrats are bussing in Mexicans to vote in our elections. Completely made up from the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. The idea that they're trying to enslave the world, the Great Reset conspiracy, like all of this stuff is from Protocols. It's all made up nonsense. So I said that it was the Jews' plan for world domination. Let me show you what the actual outlined plan was in this fabricated, plagiarized, fake book about Jews. By the way, source of almost all anti-Semitism over the past 1,000 years, or at least it's all compiled into one source. There's a thing called the Seven Mountains Mandate, and Lance Wallnau, the guy, Lance Wallnau explains it for us pretty clearly. Just listen to Lance's breakdown of what Seven Mountains Dominionism is. This description he's giving, this is the plan that Christians have. I mean, evangelical extremists. This is evangelicals' plan to take over the United States and take it from the hands of just normal people that aren't extremist nutcases. This plan was outlined in the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. He released this early March 2022, but this has been the plan for a while.
3% of the population, roughly 3 to 4% of the population, are radical leftist elites. 30% of the population are evangelical born-again Christians that are inclined to go towards Pentecostal language. I mean, we're really out there. 30% against 3%, but they neutralize the church because they're also in religion. They changed the definition of marriage, so they've taken over family. They've totally taken over academia, so the education institutions are teaching leftist theology.
He's listing the 7 mountains, the 7 pillars of society: education, military, economy, government, so on and so forth. And his whole idea, also the idea of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, was to take control of those areas. Just get your 3% of the people to the top of these areas of society, and you can control everybody else. My wife is on the plane now, about to take off. All right, sorry.
Or leftist ideology and silencing conservatives. They're controlling government right now. They've taken over legacy media, Hollywood, entertainment, and arts.
I mean, who is they in this scenario? Certainly left-wing or left-leaning Jews, right? I mean, who controls Hollywood? It's the Jews, right? That's constantly. That's one of the biggest conspiracy theories that's stuck. Hollywood and entertainment and media and everything is all controlled by the Jews. He is now saying that it's simply people to the left of hunting the homeless for sport, I guess. But at its core, this entire thing is an anti-Semitic conspiracy.
And now they've got Wall Street. This is 3%. 30% of the population is Christian. How is it that 30% are dominated by 3%? They have a worldview for bringing their kingdom here now. We're told to pray thy kingdom come, but we put it off to the second coming.
Jesus was supposed to have taken control and become the king. You're not supposed to impose your kingdom on society, but okay, whatever.
We put it off. They are organized.
Who is they? Nobody is organized to take this stuff over. This is psychotic. It's a full-blown conspiracy theory trying to whip people into a blood frenzy and freak them out to the point that they are willing to run for office and try to take control of these 7 areas of society.
And we are not. So, God says, I'm going to send you a revival. And we're praying for revival. And as we pray for revival, we think, well, watch what happens. That 30 will become 50%. It doesn't matter, because the guards in the prison control what goes on with the inmates. You could have 75%. And if they control those high places, you still are in suppression, because that's the story of history. So it's not just in having more. We certainly want souls. In eternity, that's the most important thing. And this is, Mario, where a lot of people get confused. Is it the kingdom more important? Is Jesus more important? Isn't souls more important? Of course, this isn't either or. It's both and. We want souls and we want nations. Jesus was promised nations for his inheritance, not just churches.
So, anyways, that's the plan for world domination. Evangelical Christians stole this from the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, this anti-Semitic conspiracy theory document published in 1905, originally 1902 to 1905, in Tsarist Russia. And you know what else is fascinating? The Middle East absolutely hates Israel. Oh my God, they hate them. Now, there's an explanation for why a lot of Middle Eastern countries don't like Israel, and the explanation is because they've horrifically oppressed and committed genocide on a lot of people in Palestine. But you know what? The Middle East actually hated Israel before Israel, or they hated Jews before Israel even existed as a country. Came into existence about 1947, 1948, originally. But all through the 1900s, from beginning to end, let me rephrase, but all through the 1900s, specifically during Stalin's reign in Russia, Stalin was having the KGB, the USSR's secret police, like the CIA kind of. He was having them pass out copies of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion to all of the countries in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and all of them, in Egypt and, I don't know, Egypt, Palestine, so on and so forth. He was passing them out all over the place for people to read. That's why, that was the heart of the anti-Semitism in the Middle East. And it just grew larger and larger and larger from there. So that should give you a little bit of context for what the Protocols of the Elders of Zion is and how evangelicals are rebranding it to be useful to them. All right, I think I hit everything that I needed to hit. I hope I didn't miss anything, because I want to make this like a new compilation where I explain this. Oh, like I said, Henry Ford, creator of the car, basically, printed this stuff and passed it out everywhere. That's psychotic. Anyway, all right. So with that in mind, let's go back to what we were saying. Okay. So that should provide a little bit of context. I know that took a little while, but that should provide context for what Lance Wallnau is saying here. After listening to him explain his plan for world domination, continue listening to what he says here.
So here's what's really an awakening for me. I never realized when I started presenting and teaching on 7 mountains of culture 20 years ago.
What I wonder is, did this guy did this guy read the Protocols of the Elders of Zion and create the 7 mountains mandate himself, or did somebody else do it, or what? Like, who sat down and read this document? Because they repeat things word for word out of Protocols. I mean, it's uncanny how similar the things are. It's too much for coincidence. They copied it straight out of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Somebody did. The evangelical Seven Mountains dominionism belief system is too close to be a coincidence.
I really thought media, arts, entertainment, and government were the ones to watch. I can't believe how dumb I was not to realize that education was the one you have to watch, because you raise your leaders, as Dinesh was saying. You know, you've got your future editors and Wall Street HR guys and gals coming out of these woke universities. Now, here's the deal. They teach kids.
I'm sorry. I'm dealing with something now with my wife. Hang on. Okay, sorry. I just had to deal with something for a second. Okay, let's try again.
I can't believe how dumb I was not to realize that education was the one you have to watch, because you raise your leaders, as Dinesh was saying. You know, you've got your future editors and Wall Street HR guys and gals coming out of these
and non-binary pals
woke universities. Now, here's the deal. They teach kids what to think. They don't teach them how to think.
Yeah, and how to think is thinking from a biblical perspective, thinking about Jesus, right? That's what he wants. That's what this guy wants to see. It's absolutely insane. I mean, he's talking about a plan straight out of an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory document that's existed for 150 years. I don't know. If this isn't insane, I don't know what is. It's crazy.
So if they're that vulnerable that one edited letter on TikTok can deconstruct your whole understanding of history and Western civilization, you never learned it in the first place.
Okay, it's not one edited letter. These kids... Oh, hang on. Okay, my wife is taking off now. Anyways, these kids just read, I mean, what was it, like 270 people. These kids just read Protocols of the... I'm sorry, God. These kids just read Osama bin Laden's letter for the first time and found that it was talking a lot about Palestine and Israel and how absolutely horribly Israel has treated people. I mean, they didn't go down further, apparently, but all of that's true. And it wasn't edited. It was factual. Well, at least the first portion was. Osama bin Laden was a propagandist, though, so I can't stress enough that the letter was propaganda. But it was also just a psychotic stream of consciousness, really no different than Mein Kampf. Mein Kampf was psychotic and insane. There was nothing to learn from Mein Kampf. Like, I thought about reading it. The whole book it's long, apparently. It means my struggle. And Mein Kampf is, from what I've heard, I haven't read it. I thought about it, but I understand it's just like a big, long, like, it's obviously written by someone who is very mentally ill and didn't know how to string his thoughts together in a coherent way, and it was just like hate-filled garbage. So I decided it's not even worth the time, you know. Will you dress up for Santa, or dress up as Santa for a holiday stream? Yeah, I'd consider it. Yeah, maybe. I see you're playing FF7 Remake. That is a very good game, in my opinion. Yeah, it's good. There are some parts that were really frustrating, but yeah, it's a fun game. I like it. Hey, let me see what they're saying here. Learn such a privilege, you must first win the approval of one of the trio. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Meaning, I know what I must do to save her. Stay strong, Tifa. Help is on the way. Johnny's coming, baby. Okay, he's going to fix the problem. Great. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, is he? No, he's not. Okay, I don't think that provided me any information about what I'm supposed to do next. Is there like a waypoint I'm supposed to be following, or... Wait. Sector 6 slums. Sam. Meet with Jacobo Sam. Is that what I'm supposed to do next? Okay, let's go meet with Jacobo Sam. All right, let's continue.
So if they're that vulnerable, that one edited letter on TikTok can deconstruct your whole understanding of history and Western civilization, you never learned it in the first place.
Well, people are vulnerable to propaganda. That's just the fact of the matter, and there really is not much that you can do to fix that. Just try to prepare people for propagandistic framing and lies and stuff. But even that, you know, you're going to pick off a percentage of people. That's just going to happen, unfortunately. Okay, this is the bar, and this guy has to go to the bathroom. And I have to find... I have to find, like, some items in here, I think.
If Christianity can be deconstructed by somebody, that you're listening to on TikTok, you never had a very thorough foundation to begin with. So
no, I had a thorough foundation. Now, it wasn't broken down for me on TikTok, but it was one singular statement that was made to me that broke it all for me. It shattered it. So it might as well have been a TikTok video. Hell, it could have been a 15-second TikTok video that pulled me out of the whole thing, out of all of this, you know, out of Jehovah's Witnesses, effectively. Could have been. The thing that pulled me out of Christianity originally, out of Jehovah's Witnesses specifically, was somebody telling me, it was my brother-in-law at the time, he said, do you know that Joseph Rutherford, the president of the Watchtower Society for a long time, one of the leaders, the second leader, basically, of Jehovah's Witnesses for a while. Do you know he had a mansion built for himself in the 1930s, middle of the Great Depression, deeded it to, like, Bible characters, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and stuff, and just lived in it to keep it warm for them? That was the thing that broke it all open for me. I know it was just a little thing, but when I realized that they were scam artists, it kind of shattered the rest of it, because Jehovah's Witnesses had spent the previous, 20 years or something convincing or explaining to me how everybody else, every other religion was incorrect. And when I realized they were incorrect as well, that's all it took. I threw it all out. I realized, everybody is full of shit. They're all scam artists. They're all trying to take advantage of people. So anyways, it might as well have been a short TikTok. It doesn't have to be long. All you have to do is realize how completely full of it people are.
that you're listening to on TikTok, you never had a very thorough foundation to begin with. So I really think we got to stop and realize that when we look at a year that's political and all the issues that will be decided, if we don't fundamentally reform the education and university system in America, we are setting up our own destruction, because it's a propaganda factory that makes them vulnerable to manipulation like this.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What is he saying? Is he saying TikTok is a propaganda factory and that we need to get rid of it? Am I understanding what he said?
In America, we are setting up our own destruction, because it's a propaganda factory that makes them vulnerable to manipulation like this.
Yeah, without a doubt. In fact, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, it sounded like he was saying we should be getting rid of, like, TikTok and stuff.
Makes them vulnerable to manipulation like this.
Yeah, without a doubt. In fact, Charlie Kirk posted this. Why is everyone shocked a generation taught to hate America would embrace Osama bin Laden?
Okay, God, Charlie Kirk is the absolute worst, dude. He's insufferable. I cannot stand listening to him drone on and on about all of his garbage, but he is a propagandist to the core. It's hard to beat it's hard to beat Charlie Kirk in his propaganda efforts, but no one was taught to hate America. Complete nonsense.
He's right. He's right. Absolutely.
No, he isn't right.
Exactly what you're saying there, Lance. All right. I need to move along here. We got Dinesh D'Souza here because I want to talk about this new film, Police State. If you haven't heard about it, watch this.
Oh, my God. Now they're shouting out Dinesh D'Souza's new film. This guy, if you don't know him, is the same guy that created the movie 2000 Mules. And it made a huge splash in right-wing circles. It was very, very influential. Hang on. Here's one of the trio. Want to get me into the audition. Pretty please. Why not? Really? Sure, next time an audition comes around, put your name in the hat. Next time it will be too late. Can you get me into this one? You want in now? No can do, sweetheart. I already recommended Tifa. She's got this in the bag. How can you be so sure Cornel will pick Tifa? You never know. He might pick me. Damn, you really want in, don't you? I sure do. How's about we play for it? Okay. Let me see. Can I? Oh, God. I hope that they don't give me a copyright strike or something for this.
Guess right, and I'll grant you your wish. Guess wrong, and you'll leave me in peace.
Okay, so I have to guess which one it is? Wait, let me look this up. 1 second. Heads or tails, answer, FF7 remake. Oh. Okay, it doesn't matter. Oh, okay, it doesn't matter. Let's do no deal.
No thanks.
Oh, not a gambler, huh?
I am! Heads!
Huh?
Tails, you lose. Hey, don't look so glum. You're a pretty enough gal. Just not quite Corneo's cup of tea.
Why not?
But if only the Don will do. Try convincing one of the other two.
Oh.
That's why it's a trio, and not just the Mio. Now skedaddle.
It's revealed to be a trick coin, though, I guess.
Mind if I see that coin of yours?
Apparently he's got multiple. They're the same. They're both tails.
Trick coin. I had a hunch.
That's cheating!
And that's the wall market way. Lesson learned.
Still cheating.
Okay, continue on. I hope that they don't give me a copyright strike. That would really suck. Okay. There are long and winding roads on the subject of religion and theology. Perhaps one way to see it is the social media is a replacement control mechanism that is a direct competitor to religious orders. Interesting. I'm not sure how social media would be a control mechanism like religion is, to the degree that religion is. But I'm open to hearing your thoughts on it, at least. Anyway, okay, let's keep listening to these people. Oop.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
That's true, yes.
Chief Division Counsel and DOJ have approved a no-knock breach. We want the subject to be on display.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. What are we looking at? This is a trailer for Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, but what is happening in this right now? The FBI shows up to somebody's house?
Breach.
Just step back and watch.
Very foundations of our republic.
So it's a flashbang grenade? So basically, they throw those into houses when they're going to raid them, I think. So everybody is blinded. They can't see anything, right?
Chief Division Counsel and DOJ have approved a no-knock breach. We want the subject to be on display.
They've approved a no-knock. So they're portraying people being raided, right? Their homes are being raided, like MAGA Republicans, MAGA extremists are being raided just because of their beliefs, I guess, under Joe Biden's America.
The walk of shame, full visual impact. Any questions?
Are we becoming a police state?
No, we're not.
Government told American citizens they couldn't go to church on Sunday.
I've never. Oh my God, dude. See, this is how propaganda works right here. This is what I'm talking about. That is not what happened. All right. You were perfectly free to show up to church if your pastor held services in an open area that wasn't dangerous for people to gather in, like outside in the parking lot. Get a loudspeaker, get a little canopy to protect people from the sun, and hold services outside. There was nothing wrong with that. Space the chairs out 6 feet, alternatively inside, and wear masks. Take temperatures at the door. That was a choice. They didn't want to do that. I'm talking far-right extremists. They didn't want to do any of that. What did they do? Ignored it completely. They spaced the chairs even closer. They banned masks on their campuses, like Greg Locke banned masks. Not only did he just not ask people to wear masks, he straight up banned them.
We got 2 banners coming this week that says our campus is a mask-free church. Either kindly remove them or sit in your car. You can sit in your car. If you come to our church and you try to protest what I said by wearing a mask, we will escort you to the door.
What about people who have cancer? What about people who are genuinely sick? What about people with COVID? He's trying to spread it, apparently. They were intentionally acting as super spreaders, these pastors were.
We're not playing. We're a place of faith, not a place of fear.
Is that why you left your guns at home then? Because you're not a place of fear? Get rid of the masks, get rid of the guns, right? Anyway, the point is, people were perfectly free to do whatever they wanted. Show up and listen to a sermon outside. Space the chairs out. Wear masks. They didn't want to do that. They banned masks. They spaced them closer. And they refused to hold services outside. It was absolutely absurd. These people are absurd human beings.
Ever seen anything?
For the record, nobody was banned from listening to a church service. You could log in through Zoom or any of the other options. They didn't want to do any of that. They wanted to make it more dangerous for people.
Government told American citizens they couldn't go to church on Sunday.
I've never seen anything like it. It may be the Russia other people grew up in, but not my America.
FBI warrant, come to the door now!
There's a heavy banging at my door. Open up! It's 15 marked units on my property. I got SWAT in the back of my house.
It took a battering ram
Dude, what are they talking about right now?
to my door.
6 a.m. I hear boom, 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 and hear about 6 to 8 military-style soldiers, with the tallest one of them pointing an automatic rifle at my head.
I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, they're framing it up as though people were being attacked for holding church services. That's not what happened. You know what happened, actually? I know exactly what happened. People who violated the essential services thing where you had to hold services outside or on Zoom or space the chairs out or whatever. People who refused to do those things, one pastor faced consequences for that. All of the others did whatever they wanted. It was completely ignored and forgotten about. This pastor was the loudest and most obnoxious, and he even went on Alex Jones to talk about how persecuted he was. Name is Tony Spell. I think he's in Louisiana, maybe? I don't remember. Hold on. Wait. Hold on, I'm just looking for something. Okay, this is Tony Spell, if you don't know him. This is Mid-January 2022.
There ought to be anger that rises up in us whenever the Secretary of Transportation,
Pete Buttigieg, he's gay.
who is the forerunner to be the President of the United States in
No, he isn't.
2024
No. Pete Buttigieg is not even on the list.
for the Democratic Party, came off of a 2-month maternal leave.
No, paternity leave. Paternity. Does he even know what that word means? Paternity?
It was not a woman, but it was a man that is married to a man. There ought to be anger inside of everybody here today that says something's wrong with our world. Something is wrong with people that can stand idly by and accept this as normal.
So anyway, yeah, that's Tony Spell, if you were wondering. He also tried to run down a protester who was protesting the fact that his church was open. Dude's standing at his church holding a sign saying that he's, getting people killed, basically, or something like that.
He just pulled as far over under the shoulder as he could without hitting me. He was maybe 6 inches away. And that happened nearly instantaneously. It was just suddenly there's a guy driving 45 miles an hour a few inches from you. I was just shocked and then more shocked. Like, at first I just assumed he was actually trying to turn around his bus. He kept hammering his horn the whole time until he turned around in his driveway.
This is another. So he did this twice to this guy, at least, maybe 3 times. I don't remember. He was in a bus and he had no idea where the guy was. He's just backing the bus up and hoping he hit him.
Then he stopped and started backing up at me. By the time it was actually close enough to hit me, I was just kind of in shock.
Oh my God, dude. Tony Spell had no idea where this guy was. He very easily could have killed him.
I don't think the pastor could see me anymore, so I don't think it was necessarily intent to not hit me as much as it might have been luck. When the bus stopped,
yeah, it was completely luck.
This is about the time I fully realized what's going on. I don't like being attacked. I don't think anyone does. I'm exercising the same right that he's trying to say. He's going with his First Amendment rights to assemble, and I have my First Amendment rights to protest.
So, yeah, anyway, that's Tony Spell. And for doing that, I don't remember what he got charged with. Attempted murder? No, that wasn't it. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, he ended up getting arrested for attacking the protester multiple times like that on camera. I'm actually going to speed this up, do playback speed too. So he's walking, got his Bible in hand. He sees the cops, walks the other direction. Whoop, trying to get away from him. Benny Hill music should be playing, or Benny Hill, I'm sorry. Benny Hill music should be playing. Anyway, he gets arrested. They take his Bible, they give it to the other guy, and he wanted to make a big show of everything, of course. And then he looks at the camera. You see that? He looked at the camera. This is a joke, dude. He knew what he was doing. And then he did this whole big tour around the country claiming that he was being persecuted for being a Christian. Just a joke.
We have not complied in 18 months, nor will we comply with the next round of shutdowns, mask mandates, vaccine mandates.
There were no vaccine mandates. There was a mandate to space the chairs out 6 feet, check temperatures at the door, and wear masks if you're inside. Or hold services outside. Or hold services on Zoom. He didn't do any of those things. Anyways, yeah, that's the most visible case. He was arrested for trying to run over a protester. All right, let me just listen to this on the game real quick. Hold on.
After that, we'll talk. So, which course will it be?
I'm just going to do the luxury course, I guess. Why not?
Then make your way to the room in the back. And wait. Cloud? This exclusive treatment is reserved for our most well-to-do patrons.
I'm not sure what's happening. I think that she's making me over like a woman.
First, the hand cream. a generous coating for each and every one of your richly deserving fingers. Let's start with the tips.
Okay, this is oddly...
That's it. Relax.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm only here to help.
This is weird.
Oh, did that hurt?
No.
Then I'll move on to the base.
I don't know what's going on right now.
Let's see if we can't improve your circulation and get that blood flowing. No,
I mean,
don't fight it.
The previous game, the original game, was kind of risque and questionable at some points. I don't know what's going to happen here. Should I switch off of this?
Oh, what was that?
For people who've played it, is this an okay part, or I don't know. I'm thinking this isn't a good part. I mean, he's getting a massage, right? I'm probably going to be cutting this out later.
If that was to your liking, do come again.
Right.
What, did she just, like, massage his hand? Okay, then.
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, this whole part of the game is, like, where you're trying to get into a brothel as a prostitute.
Really weird.
This is a beautiful room. Look at this awesome doorway. I want a doorway like this. Oh, I'm Eris now.
All right, then. I think I've seen everything I need to see.
So?
Tell me what you want, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I talked to her now.
You're one of the trio, right? I want to get into Corneo's next audition.
We're going to finish this in a
Why
second.
in the world would you want to do that?
Really?
But you cannot go dressed like that.
Huh?
I could never send Corneo a candidate wearing such a plain-looking getup.
Okay, I
Owen
guess she's
said
going to
you
let
call
us
my
in.
position as one of the trio into question.
Yeah, she's going to let us in. Awesome. How's Eris' outfit? It matter what I think, question mark. Okay, that's not proper grammar, but whatever.
It's comfortable, isn't it?
Cloud the fashion critic.
Look, just take it outside the parlor, would you?
Sorry, we'll stop. So, what should I do about the outfit?
You just leave that to me. I'll put you in a dress so...
Yeah, this isn't playing out quite like the original,
So long as you can afford it.
but it's a really interesting
What I
game.
said. But don't worry. It's obvious you can't afford a dress with that kind of price tag. So listen, I have an idea. There's an underground coliseum in this town. Up for a fight club?
Oh, totally.
Good. Because I'm getting you into that arena.
Oh, I love the
If
fights.
you win the tournament, I'll transform Aerith into a drop-dead gorgeous beauty.
There any prize money?
Yes, for the person who got you in. So, what do you say?
Oh, I love the fighting. I would love to get into the fighting.
You'll need this. They're already letting fighters inside.
Okay.
You should hurry. Run along.
Okay, cool. Let's do the fight then, I suppose. And let's continue listening. I think I have to... Where am I going? Going here? Underground Coliseum. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Let's do it then. Wait. Oh, sorry. I gotta flip over.
About 6 to 8 military-style soldiers, with the tallest one of them pointing an automatic rifle at my head.
FBI, we have an arrest warrant!
I don't even know what they're portraying here. This is not like, I followed these cases really, really closely. I don't remember this ever happening to anybody. Tony Spell was arrested, and you guys saw that. Like, that wasn't a big deal. That was just him being arrested, and that's it. And he got out, like, the next day, so...
shock you out of sleep, drag you out of your house half clothed, refuse to give you a warrant, ransack your house.
Now I'm facing 15 years in federal prison
for doing nothing other than exercising my right to free speech.
No, that's not what happened. Nobody faced 15 years in prison for attending a church service. It's completely made up. I mean, is this just supposed to be like, is it quote unquote based on a true story, i.e. completely made up? Is that what they're trying to communicate? I'm not even sure.
Prison
for doing nothing other than exercising my right to free speech.
I had no reason to be attacked.
I hope that you remember Matt's name and the role you played in killing him.
Wait, what was that? What did it say?
That you remember Matt's name and the
Capitol rioter Matthew Perna faces 20 years. Oh, they're complaining about... Okay, so I thought that they were talking about being, like, locked up in jail for attending a church service. That's not what they were doing. They're complaining about people being charged with a crime for participating in the insurrection on January 6th. Okay. God, this is insane propaganda, seriously. Oh, this is for the spectators. I need to find the, wait, this is it. Okay, got it. I mean, you're seeing how they're, like, framing this up as them just being persecuted when it was actually them doing the illegal acts, right?
Yes, the two of us are a team.
Hang on.
I need to get into that audition, but I won't let anyone else fight my battles for me. That includes you, mister.
All right, team it is. Head to the waiting area down below.
Cool. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
The role you played in killing him.
How did we give the state this kind of power?
9/11 changed everything. We're going to expand the Bureau from law enforcement to domestic intelligence.
Okay, this is what I agree with largely. The Patriot Act was a bad thing. I do not like it at all. But they're framing it up like the FBI is like evil because they're chasing down terrorists, and these people happen to be terrorists. The January 6 people, Dinesh D'Souza, and anybody. He's supporting terrorists. Look, this isn't really happening on the left right now. I mean, I understand there have been like left-wing eco-terrorists. For example, the Unabomber did what he did for left-wing reasons. We were destroying the planet and stuff, and that was like all over his manifesto. I denounce that. See how simple that is? Denounce evil things. Denounce terrorism. Boom. Just like that. That's all they have to do. They're not denouncing terrorism. They are, I mean, Dinesh D'Souza and the people who are producing this film, this trailer, is endorsing terrorism and framing terrorists up as the innocent, persecuted people. Insane.
Legal shackles are now off.
It used to be Islamic terrorism. That threat is kind of dissipated.
Our focus is shifting.
They're moving to domestic extremism. Really paints anybody who's right of center.
What we need...
No, it doesn't paint people right of center as a domestic terrorist. It paints domestic terrorists as domestic terrorists. And if you can't see that what's happening right now is domestic terrorism on the far right, you're probably one of those domestic terrorists. Okay, I think I have to fight a battle, so let me just, I'm gonna prep for this.
As a person to look at, and then we go find out what crime you did. If you're a pro-life, pro-family Catholic, they define you as radical. The demand...
No, are you kidding me? Pro-life, pro-family Catholic? Joe Biden is a pro-life, pro-family Catholic. Of course, Biden doesn't think that public policy should force other people to follow his belief system or whatever. He doesn't think that others should be forced to do what he believes. So he is in favor of people's rights to choose, even though he would never choose abortion. But yeah, this is just completely fabricated. This is just fabricated persecution porn, if you will.
If you're a pro-life, pro-family Catholic, they define you as radical. The demand for domestic terrorism vastly outstrips the supply.
The demand for domestic terrorism? I don't understand what that even means.
Demand for domestic terrorism vastly outstrips the supply.
When candidate Trump came down the escalators, the government had a meltdown.
We are going to drain the swamp. We'll see about that.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
The Patriot Act and FISA
Dude, I have no idea what they're talking about here.
were used against Donald Trump.
Google literally rewrote their news algorithm based upon what Trump was doing so that they could get this guy.
Yeah, all of this is made up. This is completely fabricated. What they said a second ago, listen to this one more time. Hang on.
Intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
The Patriot Act and FISA were used against Donald Trump.
The Patriot Act and FISA were used against him? No. This is the claim that Donald Trump was being monitored by the FBI. What really happened was during the 2016 election, the FBI was doing what they always do, which is monitoring known spy networks and stuff like that. They were monitoring Russian spy networks that they knew were operating in the United States. And bizarrely, people from Donald Trump's campaign, Donald Trump's children, Eric and Don Jr. and others, were calling these known Russian spies. And it's like, why is a presidential candidate talking to known Russian spies? Not just once, but like a number of times. So the FBI started an investigation into Donald Trump's campaign called Operation Crossfire Hurricane to, Alexis, stop, to figure out like why this was going on. And eventually the investigation was closed when Donald Trump became the president. Interesting timing, huh? That's what they're talking about, I assume. I don't know what I'm waiting for here, but this is like really frustrating. I already rested. I already checked the jukebox. I already talked to all the people. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Why am I waiting? I don't understand. Wait here until it's time. Okay, I guess I'm just going to stand here with my thumb up my ass. Great. What am I supposed to do? This is really annoying. This shit right here in this game drives me insane. Wall Market Coliseum. How to start. Talk staff inside. Enter Cloud and Aerith as a team. Enter the elevator to Coliseum downstairs. Yes, I did that. After a cutscene, first room on the left contains a vending machine. To prepare for the first battle, equip fire materia and ice materia on either character. All right, fire and ice. Let's see. Lightning, fire. Yes, and ice. All right, cool. On either Aerith, this can be, or Cloud presumably, this can be paired with Magnify. All right, cool. I can do that. Magnify. I just got the Magnify materia, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Ice, auto cure. I would like to keep auto cure. Hang on, sorry guys. See, what's this? Steadfast block? Yeah, I don't need that one as much. So let's see here. Magnify. Yeah, here we go. Magnify and ice. Okay. Talk to the gatekeeper to enter for the battle is against the Beastmaster and 2 Bloodhounds. All 3 enemies deadly in close combat. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to save and I'm going to talk to the gatekeeper. Okay. Whoop.
Google literally rewrote their news algorithm based upon what Trump was doing so that they could get this guy.
Completely made up.
You just take out the word Russiagate and you put in COVID origins. You take out COVID origins and you put in Hunter Biden's laptop. You take that out and you put in January 6th. It's the replicated.
Oh, this is Kash Patel. He's a QAnoner, and he's an extremely influential figure in QAnon. And he was also the Secretary of Defense or something. He ran the Pentagon, I believe. He was extremely high up in the military.
Play from the deep state and their partners in the media.
They're not just deplatforming you. They are trying to throw people in prison.
If they're coming for me, they're coming for you.
Hands on your head! These are...
Well, I mean, yeah, if you are a domestic terrorist, sure, absolutely. Most definitely.
They're anti-government.
We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech!
Violent extremists. And
I mean, this is all, like... yeah, this church just happened to have, like, high-quality cameras set up in the church from multiple angles, and all of the cops knew not to look at the cameras when they came in, right? I mean, this is all staged. It's fake. None of this happened. This is insane. Get help, people. A year of membership. Welcome, Nerical. Thank you so much for being a member for a whole year. That's crazy. Am I wrong, or finding Cloud Strife kind of hot? I wondered, because I finally got to view live. Welcome, Carol Campbell. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That is the shit. I wondered if Cloud was hot or not, because I know that, like, the other characters are unrealistically attractive, and I couldn't tell if Cloud was that way or not, because I just can't tell if dudes are attractive or not. Weirdly, I can't tell where they sit on the scale of 1 to 10. Nerical, just at me in the chat. Tell me where you think Cloud sits 1 to 10 on attractiveness level. Anyway, all right, let's keep listening, or watching this.
We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech!
Violent extremists, and they must be dealt with. We can do anything we want.
Are you next? Yeah, you are next. If you are a domestic terrorist, I would like to think, I hope.
Police State. Exclusively in theaters, October 23rd and 25th.
God, that's crazy. Police State. Insane, dude.
Tickets sold only on policestatefilm.net.
All right, Police State, Dinesh, the film is, a few years ago, I mean like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we would have thought, oh, it's Hollywood kind of going kind of crazy. Yet what you covered in this film is exactly, we know all of these things to be happening here.
No, they're not. I just talked about all of the examples of this stuff happening to any degree, in any way, or whatever. This is not happening. Completely made up, all of it. These people just straight up live in a fantasy land, dude, where they are like victims 24/7. It's nuts.
Now, ever since COVID, does it all go back to the Patriot Act? Is that where we went off the rails?
Dude, I love that these people are like talking smack about the Patriot Act now. This fascinates me because these were the people that were in favor of the Patriot Act originally. These people wanted it. They pushed it through. They pretended nothing was happening because it meant that they could, monitor and jail Muslims at will, and they did. There are Muslims that are to this day in jail right now. Florence Supermax, FDX Supermax, that didn't deserve it. That the FBI set up to do this stuff. I think it's called the Dixon 5. In my opinion, they, it was just wrong. The way that it all happened was wrong. Anyways, point is, these people were these people were all in favor of the Patriot Act until 5 minutes ago.
Well, it is true that some of it historically goes back to 9/11 and the fear in people after 9/11. Fear is often
the fear that these people used against others, the fear that they instilled in others to convince them that some nefarious plot was happening or whatever. This is insane.
Way to get people to surrender liberties that they wouldn't otherwise give up. But it wasn't just 9/11. Then you fast forward to COVID, you fast forward to January 6th. So there were various pretexts for moving the police state forward, but the direction is the same. I mean, you're quite right that I could not have made a film like this, 5, not even 3 years ago. People would think I'm doing the film about like North Korea or China, one of the other classic police states. But if you look at the defining features of police states, what do they have in common? They have mass surveillance of citizens. They have censorship. They have ideological indoctrination in schools and the media, propaganda.
Yeah, okay. I'm agreeing I'm agreeing with all that so far, I think. Dinesh D'Souza, though, is convinced that there's a police state in favor of Democrats and against Republicans right now in the United States. This is Fantasyland shit right here.
Propaganda. They tend to be one-party states. They try to lock up the leader of the opposition party. They criminalize dissent. They suppress religious liberty.
And these people being the... Oh, I didn't mean to hit that button. And these people being the persecution complex... Or these people being the... What they believe to be the persecuted minority that they are absolutely obsessed with the idea that they are... the ones that this is happening to, that they're the victims here, that Joe Biden is after them. This is just insane.
They have political prisoners. So kind of go down that checklist and ask which of those features do we now see in America? And the shocking answer is...
literally none of those things.
All of them.
Yeah, it's staggering. It's staggering. As I was watching even the trailer there, I was comparing that to actual news stories that we know have happened.
Well, lay them on me then. Tell me what they are. If you believe that pastors are going to jail simply for holding church service, or church attendees are going to jail for attending, show me the articles. Lay them on me. They don't exist.
What was the most surprising thing you discovered on your path of making this film?
Well, I wanted to have two kinds of people in the film. One is whistleblowers, informants, people who know the origin, but also the architecture of the police state. How is it put together? I think most Americans don't have a good understanding of that. How does it work? Who's in charge?
That's interesting. It's fascinating to me that they're setting up like this question in the first place. How are these police states set up? Because there is no police state actually. And these people like live in this fantasy land where they are the victims of a police state that does not actually exist. This is really interesting to me.
And then on the other side, I wanted to have a lot of ordinary people that are just going about their normal lives. They might be civically involved. In other words, I'm a mom. I'm concerned about what my children are learning. I'm a pro-life activist. And then, bam, they come face to face with the police state with what Orwell calls the boot stamping on the human face. And the reason I wanted to have a lot of ordinary people is I wanted to answer the guy who says, hey, Dinesh, I'm not Donald Trump, and I didn't go inside the Capitol on January 6th, and I pay my taxes, so I'm okay. I'm never going to have to worry about the weaponization of government or the FBI showing.
There you go. Exactly. I don't break the law flagrantly, so I don't have to worry about somebody coming after me to, arrest me. Yeah, there you go.
Up at my door, and my message to that guy is, you couldn't be more wrong.
Okay, well, when we see it, then you know what? When we see something like that happen, I will stand up with somebody who is being arrested for no reason or for trumped up reasons. I will stand with him. But so far, we haven't seen that the way that these people seem to believe that we have.
It doesn't really matter, does it, Lance? I'll bring you into the conversation here. You saw the trailer, police state, what Americans are dealing with. It really is brokering fear in a new way than we've ever seen before.
It's brokering fear. Is that what he said?
Americans are dealing with. It really is brokering fear in a new way than we've ever seen before.
Oh, dude, I love it. Yes, absolutely. The movie Dinesh is producing, or has produced and is about to release, definitely brokers fear in a way we haven't seen. Agreed.
Yeah, and it has a kind of a gritty intensity that 2,000 Mules didn't approach. I wanted to ask Dinesh, what does he anticipate the viewing audience on this to be? How many Americans will see this movie if it gets the kind of distribution of 2,000 Mules and maybe 20% more?
Well, I mean, 2,000 Mules was seen by a large number of people.
It actually was. 2,000 Mules was extremely popular in Trumpist nutcase circles, and I considered covering it on my channel, but I didn't. Yeah, not worth it. It's pointless. It was debunked by others, so I'll just leave it at that, you know.
Would estimate 20, 25 million people. This film is a long way from there.
20, 25 million people. I don't know if that's true. That's pretty high. I'm extremely skeptical.
Would estimate 20, 25 million people. This film is a long way from there, but I think it will slowly get there. And I say that because it's a film that leaves people deeply shocked. I mean, I've stood in the theater, people are crying, they're hugging each other. It's very emotional. This film is...
Yeah, it's called propaganda. Propaganda is commonly very emotional. That happens.
Far more cinematic than 2,000 Mules. You're quite right. 2,000 Mules, because it's focusing just on electronic surveillance, cell phone geo-tracking. There's a technical aspect to that film. But this is a film that not only has, you know, clinically recreated FBI raids. I hired FBI agents to help me do those things so that the language, the weaponry, the whole thing would be so authentic that anyone watching from the FBI or the DHS, the Homeland Security Department, would be like, wow, that's exactly how that would have gone down.
Well, realism is good. I can appreciate realism, but unfortunately, there is nothing actually realistic about this situation because this never happened and is not going to happen. People aren't going to be arrested for attending church services in the U.S. It's just not happening.
Plus, I have
You know what? If it happened, I will eat my shoes on air, publicly, live. If people start getting arrested simply for holding church service and talking about God, I'll eat my shoes.
Security Department would be like, wow, that's exactly how that would have gone down. Plus, I have dash cam footage, surveillance footage, so I'm able to actually take you inside a guy's apartment, and you can see the FBI, thugs coming up the steps, cutting out some tape to cover his camera so that nobody can record what's going on, pulling out a massive battering ram and coming in through his door.
The gall, yeah. Guess what? That's how people get arrested when they're domestic terrorists. How do you think other domestic terrorists are arrested? You think that they're just invited in calmly and nicely to have a nice, neat little chat, and when they find out that he's a Trump supporter, they just let him go? It's not how it works, man. He knows that. He's a propagandist.
And you're watching that from inside the apartment. So this is the kind of stuff you see in the film, and it's kind of mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. And Lance, I mean, in this film, what he's referring to, that's actual footage. It isn't a dramatic recreation. I mean, it's...
No, it's all dramatic recreation. Maybe he has some footage of one guy being arrested for being an insurrectionist on January 6th. By the way, not everybody on January 6th was an insurrectionist. Some of them were just rioters that were unwitting. They had no idea what was going on. They were being used cynically by people who did know what was going on, like the leaders of the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys and others. They knew what was happening, and they intentionally set out to manipulate people, take advantage of them, and scare the shit out of them, and convince them that they were being attacked, and blah, blah, blah. That's what the leaders of the movement did to them. Now, those people largely spent time in the people who got charged with insurrection or sedition or whatever against the U.S., those people were sentenced to like 20 years or something like that. A long time. They were sentenced to a lot of time. And normal people who were just like involved in the riots or whatever that were not actual full-blown insurrectionists, they only got like 3, 4, or 5 years. Like the QAnon shaman, he's out of jail now and going around and doing his tours around the country on these right-wing media networks and stuff. The Oath Keepers, the leader of the Oath Keepers, he'll be in there for, God, till he's like 70 or something. He's not getting out anytime soon.
The actual footage. What was surprising to me with the guy putting the tape over the peephole so you couldn't see who he was. It was good. John, wow. You hear what this film is. I mean, were you surprised at all this, that what we're dealing with in America in this police state?
We don't live in a police state. These people are not victims. They are actually perpetrators. These people are actually guilty of crimes. Not the people on screen, I assume. The people that they're talking about that were arrested are guilty of crimes. They are such victims. Give me a break, dude.
I'll tell you what, let's just pretend that in 2019, I went into a coma and I just came out right now and I saw that. I would say that you people have lost your minds.
Yeah, because that's propaganda. That's how it's supposed to be portrayed.
Except I was there in 2020 and I could not believe how many people were fine with it. I can't believe how many churches said, yeah, we'll shut down forever.
See, they're conflating things. That first of all, the churches didn't say we'll shut down forever. And second, that's not what the movie purported to be about. It started out as though it was about that, and then it ended up being about January 6 rioters and insurrectionists, seditionists. My God, dude, the persecution complex on these people is wild.
I can't believe that even when pastors, there's lots of them, lots of Pentecostal pastors, as well as Pastor John MacArthur in California. He said, no, I'm opening up my church. We're gonna defy this unlawful, deal that's going on. I can't believe the amount of.
Dude, what is he unlawful deal? What? Hang on, let me just hear what's being said on the game, real quick.
Second. But that's the way it is. Corneo's the one who makes the rules around here. But if you win this match, Corneo will have to accept your victory, and the crowd will make sure he does.
So this is the last one?
I sure hope so.
Yeah, these battles have not been difficult up to this point. So, yeah. Anyway.
He said, no, I'm opening up my church. We're gonna defy this unlawful, deal that's going on. I can't believe the amount of evangelical leaders that rebuked Pastor MacArthur and these other pastors.
Talking about John MacArthur, he was one of the biggest and most influential people to refuse to refuse to do online meetings, even spaces chairs out 6 feet. Like, people weren't even asking him not to hold services. They were asking him to space his chairs out. And he said no. I actually have a video of this, and it was really hard to obtain. Hold on, let me find it.
Why not? Well, Congress.
My son and his partner have been in a committed...
Did you ever thought about simply
what Christmas has...
My question, we're having church.
Okay, yeah. This is it. Yes. Oh my God, these were really difficult to find. Hold on. Okay. So these were really, really difficult to find, and despite a court order, he completely ignored a court order to space his chairs out, take temperatures at the door, have people wear masks, hold services outside, or hold them on Zoom. Any of those would be fine options. He refused. He said no. And despite the court order, he showed up anyways, and this happened.
We're having church.
By the way, people actually died as a result of what he did here.
It's actually hard to figure out exactly what the city is trying to do.
Get you to save lives.
With us.
I could have told you that. You could have just asked.
To us, but we know they don't want us to do exactly what we're doing right now. And we're not meeting. We're not meeting because we want to be rebellious.
That's exactly why they're meeting.
Meeting because our Lord has commanded us to come together and worship Him.
You can do that. Nobody is stopping you. You just had to hold services outside or take some basic precautions. He refused. Oh, wow. A house is the enemy. There were houses as enemies in the original on the way to Wall Market. I remember this. I bet the house is going to be the enemy, right? Anybody who played this game originally would know that it was the house that was the enemy. Yep, of course. I was wondering when I was going to face off against a house.
There was a court order that granted this church and this church alone the right to meet indoors. And
did you catch that? Indoors. Meet indoors. So no one was preventing them from meeting. You just had to do it in a parking lot, outside or something, anything. Take some precautions.
Powers of the city were not happy about that. They were going to be asking us to do two things, social distance and wear masks. We agreed, look, we'll comply for a few weeks. They asked that for 3 weeks. We're not wanting to be defiant. We will do what is
not wanting to be defiant, he says, we'll do what's necessary. Come on, man.
Reasonable. That was not enough for the city, so they went to the appellate court at the last minute on Saturday late and had that order removed.
So anyways, yeah, the point is that they pretended to be like these poor persecuted people. God, it's such a joke, man. And shortly before that or after that, wait, this was on August 16th, 2020 when this video came out. Late August 2020. So I'm not sure if it was before. I think shortly after that. He comes out and says this. This one was really hard to obtain, this video. And it doesn't exist anymore. It's been removed from literally everything everywhere. If you want a copy of any video, any clip that I play, it can be accessed by going to owenmorgan.com/clips. Not selling you anything. It's 100% free. I just don't want these to be lost to time. If you go there, there's it links you to Dropbox, and you can download anything. It's ordered by date that I covered it.
I haven't made really any comments about COVID or the lockdown and whatever else is going on in what is called a pandemic.
In what is called a pandemic.
I don't want to offer myself as any kind of an expert, but a rather telling report came out this week, and for the first time, we heard the truth. The CDC...
So just think about when this released. Late February 2020 is when things started getting serious and everybody started, like, cracking down and wearing masks of their own free will. It wasn't like they were being told to do this or that or whatever. It was people were afraid. So they started wearing masks and being careful and staying home of their own free will. And so that was basically early March, pretty much, right? And this was 6 months after that, roughly. This guy comes out here and says this stuff. 6 months later, everybody was staying inside. PPP money had just been dispersed, stimulus packages, and trying to think, what was the other? Stimulus packages and unemployment was expanded as well. That's what was happening in this moment in time. Everybody was staying home and feared for their lives. You didn't know what was going on or anything at all. And he says this.
CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, which is the national organization, government organization that is to report to us the truth about disease, said that in truth 6% of the deaths that have occurred can be directly attributable to COVID.
So everything that he says here is a lie, by the way. Like, he twists this completely out of proportion and makes it seem like COVID was not as bad as it actually was, when we all know it was as bad as everybody thought it was. Even worse, maybe.
94% cannot. Of the 160,000 people that have died, 9,210 actually died from COVID. There is no pandemic.
What a wild thing to say. At that moment in history, there is no pandemic. Holy shit, dude. And like YouTube and a whole bunch of other platforms were so like disturbed and disgusted by what this guy said in that moment that they removed it from their platforms. They're like, we cannot, like, we're not putting this out. We're not hosting this. This is disgusting, man, for real. Anyways. So yeah, that's John MacArthur. That's who they're talking about right now on this on Flashpoint. This guy. Absolutely disgusting stuff, man, for real. So let's continue listening to John Cooper. Just talk about how much he loves John MacArthur. I don't know how to say it any more politely.
Of evangelical leaders that rebuked Pastor MacArthur and these other pastors that I aforementioned, telling them that they are supposed to obey the state. It reminds me of what you read about with Dietrich Bonhoeffer in Germany in the 1940s.
He's comparing COVID to Hitler in Germany in the 1940s. Seriously. This is insane.
He's speaking out against Hitler on his radio show. He's a Christian, and he's trying to get these pastors to understand what's going to happen. And he just keeps getting rebuked by fellow Christian leaders, telling him to be quiet, keep it all about the gospel. This isn't what Jesus wants you to do.
Well, that's accurate. Yes, that's absolutely true. Correct. These people are shameless, dude. For real. These people are shameless. They just lie for a living.
And I just think that sometimes I don't know why it's got to be that way. I truly believe that if the church in America would just rise up and act like the church, I think we would see all of this turn back around. I think that America would once again love freedom. We'd learn how to love our neighbor again. But I tell you what, we've got to wake up. The church has got to regain its Holy Spirit power and its moral confidence.
Dinesh, what are you hoping to gain? What do you want to see happen in America with this film?
Well, the film is being blocked and suppressed in various kinds of ways. We have had sort of cyber attacks on our website. Amazon and Walmart won't sell our DVDs. If you let me say.
Well, it's cyber attacks on your website. Yeah, welcome to the club, bro. I get cyber attacks on my website all the time. This is just part of owning a website. Like, this happens to everybody. And he's acting like some persecuted poor guy that everybody hates because of this. And yeah, guess what? It's a free market. I thought this dude loved capitalism. What happened to all that? Amazon is not obligated to host your propagandistic garbage.
PoliceStateFilm.net is kind of the one-stop shop to watch this movie. So if you go to PoliceStateFilm.net, you can stream it from, you have your choice.
All right, now they're shouting out where you can find all this stuff. Anyway, hey, maybe we'll cover it. Maybe I'll cover it on my channel. You know what? I'm going to write this down. Police State Film. It's hard to cover movies because they're so, like, there's a lot of copyright stuff involved. Police State Film. We'll see if maybe we can cover it on my channel. But anyway, that's insane. That's insane. Let me know what you think about this. I guess this is about the end where they're just shouting their stuff out now. Yep, just shouting out all of his stuff. Just terrible. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. This is just cringy garbage. Hey, welcome, Drake. I'm sorry I'm leaving now. It's just terrible timing for me to leave, but I have to go pick up my Thanksgiving stuff for tomorrow. So I guess I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm not sure if I'll be streaming tomorrow or not. Probably. I think I probably will. Just woke up for work. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Just show up here tomorrow and if you want to, and maybe I'll be streaming. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I will talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. If not, I'll talk to you on Sunday, okay? And have a good one, everybody.